Hello and welcome back to Scruffy Wars. My name is Joe, and in the last battle report I did with my son when we talked about Orcs vs. Votann, I actually got two messages about why I would be switching to Imperial Agents over Leagues of Votann. Well, there's a couple things that go into that. The first is I've played Leagues of Votann at a couple different RTs, and I've never gotten better than 1 and 2. I did go 2 and 3 at a GT with that army, and I always felt like I was missing something. When the Imperial Agents got announced, I was actually in the process of building a Deathwatch army, and so Deathwatch went away. I got really frustrated, sold all my Space Marines, and was like, you know what, this Imperial Agents thing sounds kind of cool. So I started building an Imperial Agents army, and you know what, I've had a lot of fun playing it. I've actually got a better win rate with my Imperial Agents army than I do any other army. So this is the list that I am taking to an RT next weekend, Guild Clash 4 at Guild Pack Games. It's called Guild Clash. There's 22 people signed up right now, caps at 26. Usually there's about 20 people. I've already done all of the Guild Clash events and the Guild War. I've had a lot of fun doing them. I actually am one of the people that helped get that started. So it's a lot of fun. So let's go over my list and talk about some of the different things I'm hoping to achieve with this. So we'll start off over here. I have 2 Deathwatch veteran squads. So 2 full kill teams, 10 each. We have a Watchmaster leading both of those. The reason we're using the Watchmaster, I do have a Watch Captain Artemis, but I figured a Watchmaster is better with the ability to fall back, shoot, and charge all the time. Plus, it reduces the strat by 1 each battle round. So each one of those guys will have that ability. I have 1 squad is the shooting squad, 1 squad is the melee squad. So the squad with the guy that's not all the way painted yet, I am running a frag cannon and furnace bolter. We do have a black shield, blades. We do have the Combi-weapon and Xenophase blade on one of the guys back there, but they're mostly the shooting guys. This one is the melee. We are running all 4 shields with power weapons, all 4 thunder hammers. We have a frag cannon and a furnace bolter. These are going to be my heavy damage dealers. This right here is just over 600 points of my entire list. So the big teeth of this, these guys can get rid of a whole bunch of stuff. Being able to utilize some of the strats that we have in the Imperial Fleet makes this a really, really fun unit to use in this detachment. Being able to advance, fallback, shoot, and charge, these guys move up the board really, really quick. Next, we have 3 sets of Imperial Navy Breachers. Now, Imperial Navy Breachers are a really, really fun unit to have. These guys reroll wound rolls of 1. Unless you're on an objective, they reroll all the wound rolls. Okay. They also, once per game, can do an 18-inch grenade and once per game strip cover. They're also considered voidfarers. So if they are led, they get all kinds of uses of things. So I have a rogue Trader Entourage here who I'm giving the Fleetmaster enhancement to, which means her unit can use 3 different strats for free. Masters of the Void, Close Quarters Combat, and Violent Acquisition. So the, so all of those different ones, Close Quarters gives me +1 strength, +1 AP to units within 12 inches. The Masters of the Void allows me to bring in all of my units that are in reserve into my opponent's backfield, regardless of the turn. So if they're not screened out really well, turn 1, I can bring in all of my reserve units into my opponent's backfield. And Violent Acquisition, that gives me sustained, ignores cover, and lance on my weapons to an enemy that is on an objective. So the great thing about these guys is bring them in the backfield, look at someone's home objective, chuck a grenade, because we'll be at least 9 inches. So the 18-inch grenade, strip the cover, and then just the volume of shots this thing gets when you can hit them with sustained is just absolutely bonkers. Next, we have the same thing except with Trader Draxus. So Trader Draxus is my Warlord. Her being able to reroll wounds when she's got all the dev wound weapons is just awesome. Then we have a basic Inquisitor. So the basic Inquisitor when you hit that unit with a strat on a 3+, you get the CP back. So it's almost like being able to use it for free a lot of the times. On him, I have the clandestine operations. Next, we have 3 units of subductors. So subductors are just a really annoying unit for people to have to deal with. These guys have a 4-up invulnerable save. They're T4, 4-up invul, and just are there to get in people's way. The other enhancement that I'm using is clandestine operations, which gives 3 of my units infiltrate. So all 3 of these guys will get infiltrate. And the Rogue Trader Entourage also gives their unit infiltrate. So I've got 4 huge bricks of units that can infiltrate. So people call it the cop jail, because you can put these guys in and really trap someone in their deployment zone. I've done that a few times, and it just really allows me to score quite easily. The thing that people say is that agents have a hard time with anti-tank. Well, Canis Rex solves a lot of those issues. I've used Canis Rex in all the games that I've won, and he is a deterrent a lot of the time. But if you really just need him to go out and start clearing up a path, he really can do it, especially when you get to turns 3 and 4. He's just a great way to push forward and start clearing stuff out. Because we're running agents, I have all 4 assassins. So currently in the list, I have the Eversor Assassin. I'm not taking 2 assassins at the same time. I found that I really don't need them. I only need 1. More often than not, we are going to use the Imperialis Assassin for scoring, just because she can do the up and down. This army doesn't have a lot of up and down stuff, but she can do the up and down. If my opponent just has a ton of infantry, sometimes I'll bring the Eversor Assassin just for clearing out the chaff. If they're character heavy, I'll bring the Vindicator. Not really bring in the Caluxus anymore. He's just not doing what we need him to do. And then the very last unit we have is the Humble Navigator. This guy is the one that's carrying the Clandestine Operations strat. He gives a 12-inch aura of anti-deep strike. So with all the different armies in the game now, they're using the 6-inch deep strike instead of 3-inch deep strike. All of those that exist, by him having the 12-inch aura, so what'll happen is I'll have him sitting on my home field objective. There'll probably be one of these breacher squads on the home field as well, because they're battle line. And what'll happen is he'll screen out the 12-inch, I'll string out some breachers or some seductors, covers my entire backfield. I've got the Death Watch that'll be moving forward, killing stuff. I'll probably have 1 or 2 units of the breachers in reserve, and Canis Rex is just sitting there scaring people from running down on me. So how this army plays is, at the beginning of the game, I put all 3 of these units for infiltrators, and then I also put the Rogue Trader Entourage unit infiltrating. Now, depending on the mission, depends on how I set this up, and if my opponent has scout moves, or if they've got infiltrators. If they have infiltrators, we're playing the screen out game, where I'm trying to stop his infiltrators, he's trying to stop mine. So I did have one game where I locked out someone for 2 turns because I just hit a bunch of 4-up saves on my guys, and they couldn't do anything about it. So it's a really, really effective strategy. Now, if someone's got a good way to just clear out infantry super fast, if you fail your 4-up saves, it really sucks, and these guys die really quickly. So what I like to do is I'll put all 4 of these units out and infiltrate, kind of see which way my opponent is leaning for which side they're loading heavy on. And the Rogue Trader Entourage has an ability where you can redeploy D3 units at the end of setup, and you can take them into reserve or just move them around the battlefield. So sometimes what I'll do is I will just pick up this unit and put them in reserves while I already have another one in reserves, to make use of the stratagem to bring all my reserve units into someone's backfield if they're not paying attention to screening out. What other fun things for this? So the Imperial Fleet, if you'll notice, I'm very character heavy. The reason for that is most of the stratagems require you to have a character leading the unit. Probably the most effective one is the Displacer Field. It gives your unit a 4-up invulnerable save, and when the unit's done being shot at by one unit, you can move 6 inches and your unit gets the fly keyword to do that. So you have to have a character leading the unit. So all of these units can effectively have a 4-up invul and then move 6 inches. It's really great when someone moves up to try to shoot and then charge. So they shoot, not thinking they're going to, they don't want to kill your unit because they want to charge them. Your unit's going to survive, even with the 4-up invuls. You move 6 inches away to make their charge even more difficult, and they lose that ability to charge and really leaves them out in the open. I've used that very effectively, especially against Death Guard. Death Guard really wants to get up in your face to make use of all of their contagion stuff. And so you get the 4-up invul, you have 5-6 guys alive, you fall back that 6 inches, now they fail their charge, they're stuck out in the open, and I've used that very effectively. I had one where Mortarion came forward, Death Guard came forward, another unit came forward, shot with the weakest shooting unit first. I made every single one of my saves, moved 6 inches farther back behind a terrain piece where nothing else could shoot me. So Mortarion didn't get to shoot me, was stuck out in the open because he failed his charge. I brought Canis Rex out, and Canis Rex ended up killing the Terminators, charging into Mortarion, tank shocked Mortarion, and then meleeed Mortarion dead. So in one turn, I cleared out about 800 points with Canis Rex because I was able to fall back and stop them from killing a unit, piling into a unit, and doing so on and so forth. So that Displacer Field, very, very effective. So is this the best army in the game? No, it is not. It does not have a very good win rate. I have been told by many, many people, don't play this army. It's not that good. I'm not one to listen to other people when it comes to that. I'm going to play this army and have a lot of fun with it. This may not be the best competitive army, but it sure is a ton of fun to play. If you like complicated armies, you like to pay attention to all the things going on, this is a great army to have. This army focuses on scoring, not killing. I have a lot of units that can get on objective, have a ton of OC. I can get 5-up invulnerable save for everybody on an objective, plus give it another 1 OC for each unit, or I can make it +1 to hit against a unit each one of my command phases. So having all those different tools makes this a fun army to play. So why would I play Agents over Leagues of Votann? Variety. This army gives me a ton of variety, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll see if I still love this army as much as I do right now after the RT, but that's it for this week, guys. We have a really fun battle coming up where the orcs are going to take on the Custodes, but not the way you think. We'll leave that one for a surprise for later, but until next time, guys, have a good one, have good games, and we'll see you next time.